All right, we're back at it again today. How is everybody doing? It's snowing here. It's November 20th of 2024, and I've decided that the head is pretty much baked on this old McCormick. I sourced out a couple possibilities that I can pick up sometime in the winter or in the spring or something or other. So, but I need to make room for my D6. I'm gonna park it in this same area so I can get that opposite track off, and this McCormick's in the road. So I'm just gonna start it up, and we're actually gonna drive this whole son of a gun this year in its 100th year. So let's get this case started up. I'm gonna start turning her over, turn the gas on, and then see what happens. Because of the snow and the wet conditions, the flat belt was slipping on the drive pulleys of the case tractor, and so I did have quite a bit of a time to get it to turn that McCormick over, but I wiped down the rag quite a bit as it was turning, and slowly it did start performing. Got some traction going and turned that engine over, and surprisingly that tractor fired up pretty quickly. And I used the belt as opposed to trying to start it with the crank, because well, it's just got bad gaskets, bad carburetor, bad everything, so I just went with the belt. Because the broken manifold there has the mounting brackets for the governor linkages, there's no governor hooked up to the tractor, which makes it even harder to try to get it to run smooth. Well, I didn't go very far, so I'm gonna belt her up again and try to get her started again. I realized after I got the McCormick running, its pulley is driving the case pulley, and I couldn't put the case into gear to drive it ahead without first off going back to disengage the pulley of the McCormick. Kind of a learning there. it to back up that far. Carburetor is really bad shape. It's pouring gas out it. Because of the exhaust manifold, the governor linkage isn't hooked up, so I just got the throttle just off idle. And so it's not really a bunch of things that are going to work out good for running that thing. So I'll end up just pulling it around with the case here later on. And I want to park it out just a ways away so I can get the cat in here. But anyway, it did back up under its own power. That's all we got to now. Okay, it's next morning. We had a little bit of snow overnight. Most of it's melted. It's just been melting as it comes down, basically. I don't know, maybe the truck is blocking the view now, but the McCormick Deering is up ahead there. I had to pull it back with the case. Couldn't really run it on its own power there. A lot of missing pieces there. Governor linkage, manifold gasket, bad carburetor, whatever. It just wasn't going to cooperate, so I just pulled her back with the case. We're on to the next thing, which is the cat. That's our main goal for today, is get that D6 up here. Okay, that's everything but the kitchen sink. I think we're just going to knock that blade off that cat and then run her up with no blade, no A-frame, no nothing. So then we're just parking on over there right beside where the little case is. And let's go see if we can get her. Good. A little black, so once I get this thing started, we'll change it before we start it again. Kind of suspicious. But you're supposed to check it when it's running, so we'll take a check on it when it's running, see if it's down there. Okay, now I gotta go get a chain. I gotta go back to the yard, get a chain to hang the cylinders. and maybe a battery I'll take out of the John Deere. That is my master pin, so I'm just going to back it up another foot. I can't go another full track rotation because I don't want it parked underneath the roof of this RV because it'll slough on the cat. So I'm just going to back it up so I can take it apart. Maybe I should be taking it apart at the front idler, so I will back it up and park it at the front idler. Okay, earlier this summer, when I was pushing all that fill down there at the mid-level, one of those fiber, I think there's 5 of them, fiber couplers between the flywheel and the clutch disc had flew apart. And I do have the inspection cover off of the clutch down in there. You can see there's a hole there. And on the way up, I could hear it ticking and tapping, and once in a while there'd be a spark coming out of there. And then on the way up, whatever was flipping around in there just left the chat, took off like a bird. Then it was running quiet ever since, which made me feel a lot better. That's not flapping around there hitting the casting as we're driving up. I was kind of worried about doing some damage, but we made it up here. I've got the master pin parked just to the lower, not halfway up on that idler, but to the lower side of the idler. So I can break that track apart, flip the track that way. And because eventually I got to jack this machine up and pull that whole track frame out and work at all those bottom rollers and probably the top rollers a little bit. But so that's got to be opened up. But so primary is the clutch. That has to be fixed, and then the this track this winter to get all that back to working. And then over on the other side, I think I'm going to investigate this generator. This is a 6-volt system, but I'm thinking I want to convert it to a 12. I seen on another channel a guy had, well, it's King of Obsolete. Joey Barnes, I believe his name is, up in northern Manitoba, the end of the wilderness. Anyway, he converted all his TD International cats and these 2D6s to a alternator drive. He just altered the generator here and made a bracket, put an alternator up, got 12-volt system. So I'm probably going to work my way around doing that over the winter. But we got the old cat up here without it giving too much of an argument. I forgot to mention on top of the track, the clutch, and the generator, I've got the decompression system here to work at. I can't put it on decompression. So that's another thing that has to be fixed. So probably a drop pin on a linkage or something, who knows. But that's all we got for today. It's cold and damp out here. I'm kind of tired of mucking about in the cold and damp, so I'm going to call her an end to the video, and we'll catch up to you later. Bye for now.